What's up guys, I'm Ryan and welcome to our very first episode of Ride and Tell. Today, we are reviewing none other than the 370Z Nismo. This is a 2017 model. It has every option imaginable, including the 6-speed manual transmission. Now, many of the other YouTubers have reviewed this car, but they actually didn't review a Nismo model with a manual transmission. My philosophy is if you're gonna give a fair and honest review, you might as well review the very best version of that car. So that's what we're here doing today with the Nismo 370Z. And let's go ahead and start off by highlighting some of the exterior differences that you get with the Nismo car versus the base model. So let's get right into it. As you guys will notice, it has a completely reworked aero kit all the way around the car. That rear fascia looks really mean and aggressive. It's got some nice red trim at the bottom, really cool venting, and of course, that third brake light. It's actually a brake reflector right there on the center bottom portion. That looks phenomenal. You've got the LED duckbill lamp there. You know, the duckbill with the venting and the diffuser, I think it really adds a nice touch. It is far better looking than the previous iteration of the 370Z Nismo. Let's work our way around so we can check out the side profile. So as you guys will notice on the side, we have completely reworked side skirts, matching red trim as well. We have raised forged aluminum wheels from Japan. This is really cool. It also comes on the standard Z as well, but I'm just gonna mention it because a lot of people don't know about it. This Nismo, the Z badge, lights up both white and amber. So when you've got your blinker on and you're turning, it'll blink amber. When you're sitting in a parking space with your lights on, it's actually lighting up white. It's a very cool feature, especially in the evening hours. The front end of the Nismo model is just killer. I mean, it looks super aggressive. The the headlights are blacked out from the factory. And you know, I'm not surprised that the headlights look so good because even back on some of the previous iterations of the Z car, like the Z32, the 300ZX twin turbo, that car, those headlights were actually so sweet looking that Lamborghini borrowed them for their Lamborghini Diablo, which is probably one of the most iconic Lamborghinis of all time. So I'm not surprised at all that these headlights look absolutely amazing. And that's really cool that they blacked them out from the factory. We also have really Porsche-like daytime LED running lights, the red trim on the bottom to match. We got some gray here and some matte black. I think they did a really nice job. Shares a lot of design language with the current GTR as well. So I think it's a really neat addition. Let's go ahead and go inside the car and we'll show you guys some of the differences that you get on the Nismo model on the interior. Oh yeah, wow. Much nicer than the previous iteration of the Z. The Recaro bucket seats are really comfortable. They grip you just the right amount, but they also look amazing. I mean, the design of the seat looks very Sparco-esque, if you will. You've got red inserts. The Alcantara suede on the seats are very nice. It matches the red stitching and suede inserts on the steering wheel, as well as the Alcantara suede on the door liners. So this is quite a upgraded interior, to say the least. The tech package will net you a pretty decent infotainment system. A lot of the guys on YouTube have really led you to believe that this is a terrible infotainment system, and that is just the farthest thing from the truth. This is the same standard fare infotainment system that you'll receive in an Infiniti QX70, for example, which by any means really isn't as bad as the other auto journalists have pointed out. Is the UI out of date and could it pack in a few more features? Of course it could. But is that something that should deter you from buying a Z? Absolutely not, especially considering that it's supposed to be an affordable sports car, that money should be spent on performance-oriented upgrades and not fancy infotainment systems that let you browse Twitter when you're sitting in a parking space. On another note, the integrated backup cam is really cool to have, especially on a car equipped with a manual transmission like this one. There's just something about pushing down on the stick and moving it over to reverse and seeing the backup cam come up on the dash here, because that, coupled with the synchro rev feature, really makes you feel like you've got a modernized manual transmission that was actually built for this century. And the Bose stereo sound system, it is phenomenal. It comes with a Bose subwoofer that's nailed down to the spare tire in the rear hatch beneath the carpet. And this was done from a design standpoint to keep as much open space in the rear hatch as possible for groceries, but at the same token, dampen the sound vibrations and have a really premium audio system that sounds really nice at the same token. And it may accomplish that very well. And so you get a really premium experience with the Bose sound system. It also comes with a noise canceling technology as well, which will kind of filter out some of the unwanted cabin noise that you receive from the exterior, you know, rocks chipping up on your front bumper, road noises, things of that nature. So it's quite a nice driving experience when your music is on. And I think it's a far improved, you know, driving experience than you get with a base model that is not equipped with the tech package, right? So we're gonna walk around, we're gonna open up the trunk, and we're gonna show you guys real quick. Let's check it out. So with the trunk, you just hold the button on the bottom here, and you go ahead and lift the trunk, and the gas struts hold it up in place. You've got a really nice size hatch here. You can fit 2 golf bags, you can fit an assortment of groceries, probably at least a week or 2 of groceries right here. And then you know, you've got space to store an extra a couple of goods on the front passenger seat, as well as the floor by the passenger seat. So honestly, this is a great daily driver because you've got nice cargo space and of course ample space for groceries. So I'd say it's a great daily driver. Let's go ahead and take it for a quick spin, and we'll show you guys what the performance is like on this bad boy. Okay, so we're gonna go and take this 370Z Nismo for a spin, and we'll share with you guys our thoughts and opinions on the performance versus the base model. So here we go. That sounds good. Definitely takes off. The shorter gearing in the Nismo model really makes a difference on your acceleration. I mean, it's a big difference. When you have a base model 370Z, it comes with stock gear ratios. The gear ratios on the Nismo, they're much shorter gearing, so your acceleration is definitely increased. It's noticeably better. Also, that Nismo tuned exhaust that you get in the Nismo model sounds amazing. In fact, it's the best naturally aspirated V6 sounding exhaust note that I've ever come across, and I really think it's a great addition. Definitely adds more power to the car, along with the ECU tune that this Nismo model received from the factory. The VQ37 VHR engine is 3.7 liters. You get 350 horsepower, but you also get 276 foot-pounds of torque. That's 18 more horsepower and 6 foot-pounds more torque than you get on a regular 370Z. The 350Z actually produced 306 horsepower in its later iterations, but only 287 horsepower originally when it debuted back in 2003. So when you're comparing it to a 350Z, it's a massive improvement. And with the new improved Nismo body kit on the exterior and the host of Alcantara suede upgrades, this Nismo 370Z is a much more high-end car and provides a much more high-end driving experience than a base model 370Z. Absolutely, for sure. There is no comparison. This is definitely in a class of its own, and that's why when it was being manufactured, see, right now in 2021, you can't buy a 370Z anymore. They're completely discontinued. We have to wait. In order to buy a Z car, brand new, you have to wait for the 400Z to drop, which they say is sometime in August. Yeah, that's great. And what's really nice, you can just drop it right into third. It blips the throttle for you, over 4,000 RPM. It sounds great, makes you sound like a pro, and you don't have to worry about gas pedal input when you downshift. It's amazing. Watch this. I'm gonna go ahead and brake a little bit. I'm at 4,000 RPM in third gear. I'm gonna downshift to second gear. Oh, yeah, that was amazing. It just pulls hard, even in ridiculous heat. I mean, look, typically JDM cars don't perform well in the extreme hot weather, but right now we are in Southern California. It's 86 degrees outside. My oil is actually right around 220 degrees Fahrenheit. But yet this car still pulls like a freight train out of hell. Whew! Oh yeah. and it revs all the way to 7,000 RPM. 7,000 RPM. Beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. Now, one thing about owning a Z is that when you drive it like it's meant to be driven, you're gonna burn some oil. So definitely check your dipsticks and make sure that you've got proper lubrication at all times, because when you drive this car at the limit, you will definitely burn some oil. Now, they actually recommend that you change the oil every like 4,000 to 5,000 miles if you're on fully synthetic, which you can only run on this car. And they recommend at the factory that you use Nissan's branded synthetic oil with, I think it's called their ester oil. It has an extra ingredient that lubricates the engine a little bit better. So they want you to use their branded oil. Now, make sure you change your oil, maybe 2,500 or 3,000 miles, that frequently if you're gonna drive your car extremely hard, because the car will definitely burn oil, especially in hot climates. But as long as you change your oil in time and you change your fluids when you're supposed to, as recommended by the owner's manual, this car, you can beat on it every single day and she will just keep on ticking. And that's the great thing about JDM sports cars. You get the reliability of Japanese engineering, but at the same token, your performance to dollar ratio is very optimal. But this Nismo 370Z on the used market is a great bargain to be had. For right around 40,000 bucks, you can have this car and you can get it with low miles. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, for 40,000 bucks, you can't get a car that is only 2 seats, that's a real sports car, that offers such a high-end driving experience for the money. I mean, to get something that's even close to this, you really have to spend a lot more. Maybe it's a GR Supra, but it's gonna be much more expensive. So as far as, getting something in a 350 horsepower range, we're talking a 2-seat sports car, all business with a manual transmission that's gonna be reliable. I mean, there's really nowhere else to look right now. This is the last of its breed. So as far as used car buys, you're getting a really, really great package. Yeah, the turns are really, you hug the turns quite sharply with this Nismo suspension. I mean, it's you can feel that it's lower, your center of gravity is lower, and it just feels tighter. Less body roll. I mean, it's very planted, very well planted. Now you've got like 0.5 inches more of tire. The wheels are about 0.5 inches wider, so it really makes a difference. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Whoa. And the way this just turns, like, holy man. Oh, Jesus. I mean, like, it's a roller coaster almost. I mean, like, when you're really on the turns and you're hugging the turns, I mean, the G-forces, it's just crazy. But, man, what a great total package. I mean, the $10,000 extra that you would have spent on this car buying it brand new when you could have prior to 2021 was just so worth it. And when I bought this car in June of 2019, let's just talk performance to dollar ratio for a second. I paid $32,000. It had 7,000 miles in the odometer. It was in absolute mint condition. And essentially, that was a hell of a bargain. Right now, the car actually is worth $40,000. It's increased about $8,000 in value since I purchased it. And that's probably due to the fact that we've had a pandemic and the fact that Nissan's dropping a 400Z and they've discontinued the 370, making this a very rare car. So if you have a Nismo 370Z, you're definitely gonna want to hold on to it because it's definitely going up in value. If you're on the market for one, it's gonna be harder to find one right now because they're discontinued and because people know they're starting to be a collector's item and they're going up in value, so they're not wanting to get rid of them. So those two things kind of work against you when you're looking for a 370Z Nismo on the marketplace, but they still can be found for right around $40,000 with low mileage. And I still have to say it's probably one of the best performance to dollar bargains that you can have on the used sports car marketplace. Ooh, that downshifting, I just love the way it sounds when you downshift. With that synchro rev, it just totally makes you sound pro. Whoa. Puts a smile on my face. Smiles per gallon, baby. Yeah. The suspension is so tight. It's so fun to drive, and those noises, I mean, that trumpet-like noise that you get from the Nismo exhaust is just unbelievable. And it really makes you feel like you're driving a serious sports car. This is definitely a great buy on the used marketplace. Let's just give it one more pull. Oh, that never gets old. Yeah. Oh man, this is too good. This is too good. All right, awesome. Okay, so that about wraps it up for today's test drive with the 2017 Nismo 370Z. We'll head back to home base, and we'll give you guys the final scoring and show you guys the results. All right, guys, so that about does it for our spirited and extremely fun test drive with this 370Z Nismo. We're gonna go ahead and give you guys the final scoring. So the final score for the 2017 370 Nismo is 4.5 stars out of 5. We're only docking a few points just for the mildly out-of-date graphical user interface on the infotainment system, but every other aspect of the car we find to be absolutely perfect. Do we endorse that you buy one in 2021? Absolutely. You have to buy one on the used market because they're no longer in production, as we stated earlier in the review. So expect to pay around 40,000 bucks for a good example of this car with anywhere between 20 and 40,000 miles on the odometer. So I'm Ryan, you're watching Ride Intel, and this is our very first video. So if you like what you saw, please smash that like button, hit the notification bell and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much.